In November 2025, Jeff Bezos launched a new company called Prometheus. It raised $6.2 billion before most people had heard of it. By June 2026, just a few days ago, their $12 billion Series B round was announced, making it one of the most heavily funded AI startups in history and valuing the company at $41 billion without even having shipped a single product publicly. And until last week, Bezos had said almost nothing publicly about what it actually does. But what's most interesting about Prometheus isn't whether it can be built. It's whether he can get his hands on the data needed to build it. Prometheus is co-founded by Bezos and Vic Bajaj, a physicist and chemist who holds a PhD from MIT, co-founded Google's Life Sciences division, and helped build Verily, Alphabet's biotech research unit. Bajaj is also a professor at Stanford School of Medicine. He is, in other words, someone who has spent his career at the intersection of hard science and frontier technology. That combination matters a lot for what Prometheus is trying to do. The company describes its mission as AI for the physical economy. What that means in practice is building what Bezos calls an artificial general engineer, an AI system capable of designing and manufacturing complex physical objects, not just text or images, things that exist physically in the real world. Bezos gave the clearest description of it in an interview last week, his first extended public remarks about the company. He described Prometheus as building a very, very modern version of CAD software, although he acknowledged he was oversimplifying. The more precise framing comes from Bajaj, where he says Prometheus is treating the full pipeline from design to manufacturing as an end-to-end AI problem. The goal is to compress the invention cycle. Bezos' example is a jet engine manufacturer who wants 10% more thrust today faces a 10-year program, not because the engineers are incompetent, but because the system is so complex that every change cascades through thousands of interdependencies. Prometheus wants to run that process in a fraction of the time, with a fraction of the team. Bezos said, something that today was going to take 100 engineers 10 years to build, if you can change that to taking 10 engineers 1 year to build, you're just going to get way more things built. The company has about 150 people and has recruited from companies like OpenAI, Meta, Google DeepMind, xAI, and Anthropic. In late 2025, it acquired General Agents, a startup whose technology uses video and language models to interpret visual inputs and act on natural language commands, a capability directly relevant to manufacturing environments. This is his first CEO role since stepping down from Amazon in 2021. To understand why $18 billion is already committed to a company with no product, you have to understand what makes physical AI fundamentally different from the AI that's dominated the last 4 years. Large language models, the technology behind ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, were trained on the internet. That training data was free and effectively unlimited. Decades of human-generated text, code, and images sitting on public servers waiting to be ingested. OpenAI and Anthropic didn't have to negotiate for access to it. They just took it. However, physical AI has no equivalent. There is no Internet of manufacturing data. The knowledge that allows an engineer to design a turbine blade or know how titanium alloys behave under extreme heat and pressure. That knowledge is proprietary, fragmented, and locked inside companies that have spent decades accumulating it. It lives in internal testing databases, in the memory of senior engineers, and in simulation environments that industrial firms have built and guarded carefully. This is the constraint that Prometheus is built around. Not capital, but data. The technology Prometheus is developing sits in a category called world models. AI systems trained not on text, but on physical interactions, designed to simulate how matter behaves. If you're able to feed such a system enough data about these things, and in theory, it can begin to predict and design physical objects the way a language model predicts and generates text. The analogy holds, but the data problem is where it breaks down. When Bezos and Bajaj spoke publicly for the first time last week, they were asked directly about this. Bajaj acknowledged that Prometheus has assembled training data drawn from the laws of physics and from testing results provided by manufacturing companies they declined to name. He said, "We create that data for the most part ourselves, but we also obtain it where we can from other sources." Bezos added that some of it comes from collaboration with companies that are improving their processes. And then Axios asked how Prometheus is being trained. But this is the answer they're not saying, except for one thing. There is no Internet of Manufacturing data they can simply ingest. That single acknowledgement is the most important thing Bezos and Bezos said last week, because it tells you that the central problem Prometheus is trying to solve, building a world model of physical engineering, is also the central problem Prometheus hasn't solved yet. The data required to build what they're describing doesn't exist in a form they can just download. So how are they getting it? It hasn't been confirmed, but the logic points in a few directions. The most tractable approach right now is synthetic data. These can be generated from physics simulations. You don't need proprietary factory records if you can model the physical world at sufficient fidelity. Things like finite element analysis, computational fluid dynamics, and thermodynamic modeling are established simulation tools that already encode the laws of physics. Run enough simulations of these things, and you begin to generate the kind of physical world data that Prometheus needs to train on. Bezos's background in physical chemistry is directly relevant here, and so is the compute infrastructure implied by the capital raise. But the limitation of synthetic data is well known in the field. Models trained on simulations learn the simulation, not the world. This is the reality gap. A system trained entirely on virtual data can perform perfectly in the model and fail in the factory, which is why the most likely second way Prometheus is getting data matters. Prometheus has almost certainly been building data partnerships. The unnamed manufacturing companies Bezos referenced are part of this. Early customers or collaborators who trade access to proprietary process data for early access to what Prometheus is building. This is a standard bootstrapping strategy. But in physical AI, the data those partnerships generate is far more valuable than in software. Every real-world failure mode, measured material response, or tested tolerance is information a simulation can't fully provide. Beyond that, Bezos controls two organizations that generate exactly the kind of proprietary physical world data Prometheus needs. This hasn't been confirmed, but the logic is difficult to ignore. Blue Origin, Bezos' space tech company, has been designing and testing rocket engines for over 2 decades. The data from this kind of company is exactly what a physical AI system would need to learn from. Bezos said he's spending significant time on Blue Origin alongside Prometheus. He controls both organizations, and it's almost certain that those two facts are connected. Amazon is the second source, the world's largest logistics operation, one that has been creating physical systems at scale for years. The domains don't perfectly overlap with aerospace or drug manufacturing, but the infrastructure knowledge on how to collect, clean, and structure physical world sensor data at scale is directly related to Prometheus, and Bezos referenced AWS as a compute resource for Prometheus in the same interview. None of this is confirmed, but the pattern is clear that Prometheus is likely bootstrapping on synthetic simulation data while building real-world data assets through partnerships and through Bezos' existing empire of physical operations, until the long-term solution is in place, which is most likely buying these manufacturing firms, as reported by the Wall Street Journal in March that Bezos was in discussions to raise a fund, potentially as large as $100 billion, to do exactly this. But there's two things worth holding alongside Bezos' startup. The first is the contradiction at the center of Bezos' public position. Prometheus is explicitly building technology to automate large portions of engineering work. Bezos' response to this is that AI will not destroy jobs, but create what he calls labor scarcity, a world where demand for human workers outpaces supply. He argued that productivity raises the standard of living. People will choose to work less, not be forced out of work. That argument may be right. Economic history offers some support for it. Mechanization in agriculture and computing in manufacturing both followed patterns where job categories changed rather than disappeared entirely. But Bezos is making that argument while serving as executive chairman of Amazon, a company that has laid off tens of thousands as automation has accelerated. The gap between the theoretical case for labor scarcity and the observed reality at his own company is not a small one. The second is the valuation question. Prometheus is worth $41 billion. It has 150 employees, no shipped product, no disclosed revenue, and a central technical challenge, the data problem, that it has not publicly solved. The investors backing it at that valuation are among the most sophisticated financial institutions in the world. JP Morgan and BlackRock don't write billion-dollar checks based on press releases. What they appear to be betting on is a combination of founder credibility, the strategic logic of the acquisition flywheel, and the view that proprietary physical world data, once accumulated at scale, will be worth far more than the cost of acquiring it. Whether that bet is right depends on a question that no funding round can answer. Whether synthetic simulation data and privileged access to Bezos' existing operations are sufficient to build a world model capable of doing what the artificial general engineer is supposed to do. That's the open question, and it's the one that $18 billion so far hasn't answered.